Hey guys, it's Hasinek here, coming at you with another video. Just trying to make a lot of reviews right now. Just kind of make some new content because I haven't been making a lot of new videos. So I want to get right started. This is a review of a film I just watched. This is part of the Studio Ghibli collection. This is the very last film made by Hayao Miyazaki, and he also wrote it, I believe. And that is The Wind Rises. Yeah, I know it's not going to be like, you can't see it, the title probably, because it's reversed or whatever. But yeah, excuse me. So basically, this film is about this guy, and it's based off a biography. Um, yeah. So basically, it's about this guy Jiro, who, as I said, this was based on a biography, and it's basically a bike just about like his life. He wanted to be a pilot very much. You can see all the planes, and the title kind of, you know, obviously it's about planes, and it's based about his life as a plane engineer. I believe would be the correct title. Um, and it's basically about like what ideas he has for his invention, how he's going to make the airplane of his dream. He really wants to make beautiful airplanes that look good, and of course function good, and fly fast, and you know that kind of stuff. So basically, he meets this guy. What is his name? Caproni, which is an Italian like engineer. Well, a plane designer, I guess. Not too sure if like he's inspired by the designer, the aeronautical designer, plane designer basically. And he just kind of has these dreams where he's like talking to Caproni, and you can see in this animated film. So the dream sequences are kind of shot in a they're shot in a different way than the main story is kind of. So it's just about him talking to Caproni, him going through all the trials to, well, you don't really see his trials to study to become we see a bit of it, but not a huge lot. Most of this is about him as an adult being an engineer, which I like because we kind of want to see what his full potential can do. It's also about his love life, with what is Nahuko. Nahuko is basically a girl he sees in. He just sees her randomly I think in the rain or something. He sees her multiple times, and all kind of stuff happen with her later that I'm not going to talk about. But it's based as the film itself is just about his life. How he kind of progresses to make the airplane, and tries to get through and just goes through all the different things that happened during that period, because this film is set in 1927, and it basically goes about the earthquake. We see an earthquake somewhat early on, where it's like where he's in a train, and that's where he meets Nahuko, and they kind of talk a bit, but they don't meet each other again before some years later. The Great Depression, the financial, the economy basically failing in 20s, which also did in America. Well, the US, I guess, would be the proper term. But it also goes around like tuberculosis, which has something to do with the film, but I'm not going to say what because I don't want to spoil it. Especially something that happens at the end. And then World War II is also kind of going on. So they want to make him and his friends, I don't really remember what his friend's name is, but him and his friends basically studied it together, and they want to make, airplane that works good and that, obviously the pilot can drive safely. Well, fly safely, not drive. You don't drive an airplane. Um, they basically want to make good airplanes for people to fly in and, carry different things around the world and just, you know, transport people around the world, what you usually do with airplanes. But they also note the effect that at some point it's probably going their airplane designs and the airplanes they help repair are going to be used in war to kill people and all kinds of bad stuff. So they just kind of want to think of it as they are making the airplanes, and I guess whatever the people end up using it for is their own purpose, their own stuff. They just want to make airplanes really, and they really want to, obviously they're very passionate about making airplanes and the design process and everything. So yeah, and it's also about his relationship to his wife, well, fiance. I'm spoiling too much stuff right now. Sorry, but they do fall in love, and all kinds of stuff happen that I'm not going to spoil. Don't worry. But also like throughout them trying to make the airplane, they kind of end up having a lot of airplane crashing and not working properly, and they see the German airplanes, and they really pretty far behind because of the financial crisis. Well, the Great Depression basically. So yeah, it's also just about that really. It's a simple plot, but it's very beautiful and it's very well acted. I did watch the Japanese version with English subtitle, which I usually do, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt apparently uh, voiced the English version, and Stanley Tucci. I don't think I know who he is right now. Can't think of his name. He voices Caproni in the English version, and Emily Blunt voices Naoko, and his colleague Honjo is voiced by John Krasinski. And it's his very last film made by Hayao Miyazaki, but Studio Ghibli as a whole had also continued on making all of other films like When Marnie Was There and Princess Kaguya. I think Kaguya I'm pretty sure that's a Studio Ghibli film too, yeah. And of course, Hayao Miyazaki is very much in love with airplanes. It's in my favorite movie of all time, House, Moon, and Castle. That's my airplanes, and Castle of Callisto. That's an airplane. Porco Rosso is basically a film about airplanes, almost in a way. Um, and of course, his values are also about showing women in a very good strong light. And I guess he's very much about passionate about making good quality over a lot of he's about quality over quantity. So he doesn't really like Japanese animation, anime or anime or whatever it's called specifically. He doesn't really like that, which is one of the reasons why he's kind of given some flack for the current kind of anime industry, which makes a lot of films very fast. Well, sorry, a lot of series very fast, and they don't really think about the plot as much. It's more about the animation and kind of making something quickly, getting a season, get on with it, and not taking the proper time to probably animate everything. So that's might be one of the reasons why he retired. It's probably also because he's getting his 70s, 80, 60, I think he's 60, 80, 60, 70, something along those lines. So he's always trying to make the characters, the few he does choose to focus on, he just try to make them pretty, well developed and make the animation really good. Make sure the teams are doing a great job on all these scenes and making the animation very flowing. And you can see that this is Studio Ghibli / Miyazaki, because when you look at like the rain dropping down from like an umbrella in one of the scenes, it has that sort of quality to it that is very akin to Miyazaki, and I guess Studio Ghibli as a whole. You can also see like if things, being destroyed or whatever, they end up, kind of being, kind of destroying. Like the fire is kind of drawn in a certain way that is very, it reminds you of the other Studio Ghibli films. But yeah, I've talked long enough about same stuff constantly. So Wind Rises. There are other Studio Ghibli films out there, new ones, but this is a very good film. I wouldn't say this is the best film they have made. I don't personally. This was very kind of serious, and it's a lot more lesser like fantasy like than his other films. The studio's other films and Miyazaki's generally are very fantasy like, and they usually set in like kind of you know, a very surrealistic place. So it's a bit more like realistic, and it has a lot more like seriousness and a bit more, you know, sort of reality mixed into it. But it's still very beautifully animated and very good acting and by the voice actors. Yeah, I don't know. And it's very good, very well made. So definitely watch it if you are interested in animation or you like Studio Ghibli or Miyazaki. So yeah, watch it if you want to. But it's very different compared to the others. But it's still very much worth watch. I would definitely give this for a 5 out of 5. Maybe a 4. I would say 5 out of 5. But it's still different than what they're usually doing. But it's still very good. So please watch it, guys. So that's all. I've talked long enough, ranted not enough. But yeah, please check it out, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.